We live our lives looking, searching for love, and it's rare. When you find it, then you know that this is it. But then what happens when you find love and then you lose it? And not lose it in terms of that you see them walking around, they found somebody else, in terms of losing them to death. How do you handle that? Especially if you're young, you're just starting your life. That is the story that we have today on Relationship Circle. But just before I introduce our guest today, let's take a look at this interesting interview that happened on Switch TV's show called Decoded.
Okay, I'm Victoria Mitei from Kericho, but currently I'm at Nakuru. Yeah, nasoma Nakuru, Mount Kenya University.
And I'm Dennis Oreri from Eldoret, Kapsoya. Currently, I'm in Nakuru and hustling. I met her June last year, yeah. And well, I was in Eldoret and I was going to Nakuru for studies to get a house some few blocks away from where she was. And then there was this day that we were having just quite a good time with some friends. We were about 10 people, and we were sitting at the table. So the table was a round table, right? Mm. And she was on the other side of the table, and I was on this side of the table, and we had our friends all around. So we were just having a good time. We were catching up and talking. And so, boom, here comes a beautiful question that led us to this place.
Yeah, that was on December 14th.
Hey.
Should I say the time? Was it at 2 p.m.? Yeah, we were at Kiserian with the family. Yeah, and we were having a family lunch. Yeah, so when we wanted to eat, he stood up. And then he started addressing the family. So I'm like, come on, this guy can talk. Or why is he so courageous today? Not knowing that he wanted to propose. So the next minute he was like, hey guys, I have someone I want to introduce to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I stood up, and then he was he started talking to me those sweet words, and then I'm like, wow, what's going on here? And
you know what, babe? You know, that time I was so nervous because that was my first time to ever propose to anyone in front of first my family, and of course there were also other people. So I was a bit nervous, and of course, you know, my mom was also we were actually being recorded by my brother, because my mom, well, she's not close. I mean, she was way far. So she wanted to see the whole thing happening. So, you know, people are recording us. I'm seeing people there, not just my family, some other strangers. And, you know, it got the attention of nearly everybody, you know. Mm-hmm. So nilikuwa like, oh God, give me just strength and courage, you see. And then, boom, I just stood up, nika dress, and then I introduced her, and then I went on my knees. You
and
remember that?
And he was telling me oh, I think I had some chocolate for you. I don't know where I kept it. No, but at that time I never knew it was a ring. So when he removed it, and I was like, what? What's happening here? And then kila msa amekuangalia nini, nikaanza kushtuka. And before he went on his knees, I was like, wow, what's happening? I started blushing. Mm. Yeah, so he made that move, I could propose, and then we started planning our wedding.
We just we really first thank God, because a marriage teach to be just responsible, and then teach kukua obedient, and then, you know, we have new set of rules that we have to abide both of us. So imenieka in line, and then every morning I have to wake up and just look at her, at her beautiful face every morning. I mean, that for me is just so awesome. And then kupikiwa mazee kila siku chakula tamu, and you know, nikiwa bachelor kufua and all that, for me ilikuwa a bit stressful. So but that's just a part of it. But the good thing about marriage is that for me as a young person, because I'm 25, I'm turning 26 next month. As a young person, it's just kunifanya nikuwe responsible, you know. just to be just responsible. Yeah.
For me, it's the fact that I get to see him daily. Like, even though sitamwona mchana, I know at the end of the day I'll see him.
Yeah.
Like, and like before, when you never used to know, like, if meet or something. And then the fact that, like, ako above me, like, I'm answerable to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is it again? Like, yeah, and the fact that now, okay, he's now my partner. Like, and then
we share the same
we
goals,
share the same
dreams.
goals.
Now we have the same plans. I mean, everything that we have to do, we have to consult each other.
Yeah.
Like, marriage inakweka in a straight path, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the ups and downs of marriage, like, no matter what happens, like, maybe, like, no matter what happens in that relationship, whenever you have fights or anything, you know, at the end of it, you'll settle it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just walk away out of it, you know. At the end of it, even though he's angry or I'm angry, you just go and think about it, but at the end of it, you know, we'll talk things out at the end of it all.
Right now, the very big challenge that we have experienced in this short time, it's for us, it's about finances first, you know, because we are just from school, and we have dreams, we have visions, but we have plans. But at the moment, you know, when COVID really hit, we had to, some things had to come to a standstill. So finance imekuwa a bit difficult, because, you know, we have to go out there and hustle for something. And, you know, right now it's not easy to get something to do. So at time we would come back home. Man, I've got nothing. Yanis nakuja home with nothing on my hand, you know, and I'm just wondering, what is she gonna eat, you know?
And we can't always depend on our parents. You know, not all the time you'll be like, Mom, I don't have food. You know, like, at times your parents will be like, hey, you're overeating. Why don't you go hustle? And then now we have parents who, like, you can't just ask for money. You know, like, whenever you want money, you have to say, like, what do you want to do?
You have to account for it, you know. And they're tough, because, you know, they're teaching us in the right way. They have been teaching us, and they're still teaching us in the right way. They just don't lease out money, you know, like, to us, because we are now responsible people, you know. We are sooner or later we're going to be parents, you know. So it's just it's just so nice.
That's a beautiful story, Koko.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Koko is here. Let's see the way I didn't introduce you earlier. Koko, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Kindly introduce yourself. You're a YouTuber and all of those things that you do. This is your camera.
Okay. So my name Koko from Kericho. I'm a YouTuber, currently staying in Nairobi. I'm staying at Royal Suburbs by Savo at Roysambu. And at the moment, napambana na maisha in Nairobi.
You found one of the few, you are among the few people in this life who've actually found love. And as much as the world was looking at you as a young person, hata ujui ni nini unataka, sijui kama mlikuwa mekutana na Zulu before, you know, angekuwa na vitu za kuambia, you know what I mean? Yes, but you found love and you shared that story on Decoded with Dayan Masinde. Yeah. And then that was beautiful. Then you went ahead and got married, walked down the aisle.
Yeah, that was before we came to Decoded.
That was before you came to Decoded, yes. Yeah. And when that happened, how was the family was okay with the two of you getting married at that young age?
Yeah, okay. Okay, I was 22 then.
Yes.
And Dante was 25.
Turning 26.
Turning 26.
Yes.
And then when we decided we wanted to get married, okay, my parents were like, so long as you'll finish school, that's okay. And so long as you guys will be happy.
Okay.
I will just let you.
So they were happy with that. And you went ahead and you did this. Did you finish?
School?
Yes.
Okay, I'm yet to go back to school. Okay, I was in Tuco-Kenya,
yes.
Nakuru. But since COVID last year, I never went back to school.
Yeah, all schools were shut down.
Yeah.
And then they reopened, so that means you have the chance to do it again.
Yeah, and then when we got married, we had a lot of bills to handle. And at the same time, I had school. So we decided, okay, you can't go to school at the same time you have bills to pay.
So let's work, let's hustle. Alikuwa napenda kusema hustle.
Yeah, here like let's
So
hustle first.
Let's hustle and get some money.
Yeah.
How long were you married for?
8 months.
8 months. And then
We were to have our anniversary, our 1-year anniversary last month, August on 29th. Was to be our first year anniversary.
Okay. Dante passed on. Do you remember that day?
Yeah, he was hit by a car on 4th of April. And on 5th, early morning at 6:05, he passed. On 5th of April.
Okay. That was 8 months into the marriage.
Yeah.
That must have been the most difficult thing or what news to receive.
Yeah, okay, I was there actually. Okay, I was with him at the hospital on 4th. We stayed till around 4 a.m. on 5th. Then, we were told to leave the hospital because they didn't allow outsiders inside. So we left. So kumbe, at 2 hours later after we left, that's when he passed away.
How did you find out?
Okay, at 6, I still remember, at 6 a.m., I heard that, before I was even told that he has passed, I had that feeling like I needed to call the hospital and check on him. Because, I had I don't know how to explain it, but kuna ile feeling unakuwa nayo. I felt like my heart was like, it was like separating, like two. It's like a full heart.
Yeah, but now it's cutting.
It's cutting into two. Like it's like some part of me was just leaving.
And that was before the hospital called.
Yeah. So at that moment when I had that feeling, I was like, there's something going on. Something is happening. And I was like, I told the brother, let's go to the hospital and check on Dante. And when we got there, when we got to the hospital, nikiingia ndani nikapata kwa bedi yake, where we had left him, he wasn't there. And then there was blood on the bed. And I'm like, where is he? And then nobody was answering. It's like people knew what was happening.
But they didn't have
they didn't have the guts to tell me that, it's gone. And then a friend of mine mwenye tulikuwa naenda akaniambia, he's gone, he has left us. And I was like, I was shocked. I was like, sikuamini. Nilishindwa hata sijui nitalia au nitafanya. Yeah, because I didn't feel like it was real.
And that, I think that's the normal reaction. I mean, we don't atufikiriangi hiyo kitu ya mtu anaweza niwacha ama anaweza tuenda tu hivyo because ulikuwa na yeye just the other
and
day.
Then for me, I've never had I think I've gone to only one funeral. I had gone to only one funeral before. And then I didn't expect maybe the next funeral I'll be attending.
Itakuwa ya your husband. And when that's the journey now starts from there, becomes a totally different one. First of all, accept that it may happen, kupanga, uko na mazishi ya kupanga, what one expect pengine ukuwe strong. You do not know what strong looks like at that point. It's not something that you're prepared for. Mtu akwambiangi hivi ndio ikifanyika utabehave hivi.
No one prepares you.
No one prepares you for that.
Because it's not something that we expected. It's not something you always see coming.
No.
Inakuja tu, and then you're like, you don't have another option. You just have to be strong.
That is true. And now dealing with grief is a whole other process later on kuanza maisha na maybe facing what really happened, and we'll get into that after this very short commercial break, so don't go too far. We'll come back with Koko. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mikali. A very good morning to you, where you tuned in from 111-444-111. That is our SMS line. It's just going to cost you a shilling to be part of the conversation, to send in your questions, comments and opinions as well. Find us on social media, Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. We have Koko Mite in the building, Karibu Sana Koko, and you were just telling us the process of, you know, how you found out that Dante had passed on and how it didn't feel real to you at that point. When that happens, now things start moving. You have to inform family, you have to inform friends. Did you have somebody else help you with that, or did you have to do it all by yourself?
Okay, so at the hospital, we were 4. It was me, the brother, and some 2 friends of ours. So we were like, it has happened. Okay, I didn't have the courage to even call the mom, because my mother-in-law stays in the US. So when it happened, no one could even call her. So we had to even send my uncle to mwenye ataenda amwambie. And then okay, that time tulikuwa tu si waini hivyo, then tunajaribu kulipa bills za hosi, because we had to start making calls ndio tuanze kulipa bills before tuchoke. So like when I was told that amepass, and mimi niliambianga tu watu tutoke tu hospitali, because I didn't see the need of even staying there anymore. I was like, let's just get out of this place, because I didn't think like bado nilikuwa na shughuli hapo hosi. Yeah, so we went home. Okay, niliambiwa tutoke hosi, tukaenda home kwanza, tuende tufikirie venye tutaanza ku plan everything. Then some of my relatives came from Kitale, walikuja at least kutusaidia, kutusupport, because at that time tulikuwa tu watoi pekee, and I could consider as tulikuwa ni watoi, because
that's true.
Yeah, tulikuwa watoto pekee tu. So after that tulianza kutafuta hizo burial permits. You know, it was bado COVID.
Yeah.
Still they don't need a lot of people kwa burial nini. So we had to look for the burial permits tutoke Nakuru tuende hadi Kitale nini. And I think things happen so fast for me.
They happen so fast, but at least kulikuwa na watu wanafanya, at least wanakusaidia. And during the day of the funeral, is that when you felt like this is it, this has happened? Am I still took a bit of time for you to accept that Dante has passed on?
Actually, for me, during that period, okay, when people were like mourning, during that period of mourning, for me, I think my mourning came after, later. Not while I was with people, because when you're with people, everyone is like, be strong, be strong. You're like, okay, you're still here, let's be strong. But then when people left, that's when.
How was that for you? Because kila mtu anaenda after burial, wajua.
People move on with their lives.
Yeah.
Okay, your friends, some of your friends wanabaki, but most people move on with their lives. And so yangu it came on later. Okay, actually till now, bado like sometimes you try to be strong, and then you get to some point inakuhit tena, unaona? Yeah. Then you fall back again.
There's no timeline and there's no manual for dealing with grief.
And it still hits the same how it was before.
How have you learned how to cope? I mean, you were living in the same house, seeing him every day, but then you're saying that you moved then.
Yeah, actually, I had moved my things to Kericho. My parents had insisted I go back, stay with them at home. But then, staying there, after a while, I came to Nairobi and I met some friends of mine. I called the summer family and some other friends. And then I was like, why not stay in Nairobi and work on, try build myself again, instead of going back home. Because, unaona ukienda home bado hakuna kitu unaenda kufanya.
Yeah, ni kweli.
And then going back home, it takes you back to default. Like, it's like bado so umeenda kwanza life tena home. So like, I'd rather go to Nairobi and start a new life. So vitu zangu zote I came started a new life like completely.
Kabisa, how long ago was that? How long ago was that?
I came to Nairobi around 3 months ago.
3 months.
4. But I stayed with my friends for a while. My friend hosted me for a while. And then last month, last month I decided to move into my own house and
Okay.
start my own life again.
How is that going?
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Iko poa lakini sometimes you feel lonely because uko na nyumba peke yako kwa nyumba. But and najaribu kuwa stable say because unaona hiyo kumove everything, starting a new life in Nairobi.
Si rahisi.
And then depending on YouTube alone is not that easy.
Yeah. YouTube mlikuwa mmeanza na Dante. You stopped for a bit. Alafu ukachukua tena ukaendelea.
Yeah, actually after he passed, after the funeral, I think I took a break. After posting, I posted the burial, the funeral video on YouTube.
Yes.
After posting that, I took a break for a while, but not that long because I kept on thinking that nikiacha, this is what it started, you know.
Yeah.
I still have to push it. I still have to grow it to the penye tulikuwa nataka ifike. So at a time, people used to judge me after funeral. Ile kenye mtu anakuona umerudi YouTube. Some relatives there were like, how comes it's like you're picking yourself up. And I was like, this is what we started, you know. Yeah. And I was sure even Dante himself hangetaka niachane nayo.
Yeah. And that's your call. That's your call. And society will always have something to say.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that uli have kudeal nazo watu walikuwa wanasema? You were very young in marriage. And now uko widowed. Now hakuna mtu amekupatia ama anakuambia venye utadeal nayo. What are some of the things zenye ukiambiwa uambie, like to sort of like encourage or teach a lesson to people on how to treat people while they're grieving? What would you say?
I think I would tell people out there people grieve differently.
That is true.
Not everyone atakujalie tu ashinda kilia, like, and other people cry, like mnaona, but for some we do it behind closed doors. We don't show it outside. Because me, I still remember your time after funeral. During that period nilikuwa na mbiongo. You find some relatives there, they're asking ati why is she not crying? Why isn't she looking like she's grieving? And I was like, you're the same people who are always here telling me to be strong. To
be strong. But when I'm strong, then now I'm not grieving well enough for you.
Yeah.
So you'll never do anything right according to them.
For them, actually, it got to a point where there was I still remember there was a relative who asked my sister-in-law, ati, what do you think about Koko? And then my sister-in-law was like, what do you mean, what do you think? Unaona jet, ile kenye mtu anajaribu kusema like, unaona venye anakaa, what do you think? Ama there was something, you know.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Something ni kama
it's like
I don't want to finish the
anajaribu ku create
a story out of
yeah. Juu ile kenye me I used to hang out with them. Yaani sikonga nakaa ile na watu ati tunamwona watu hapo. I used to keep myself in the house. At least yani ini keep busy nisifikirie. Then napata mtu anakuja anasema, unaona aje? What do you think? And then my sister-in-law came and told me, how comes this relative of ours is telling me this? Kwani ni nini anajaribu kusema? And I'm like, I don't know. So I think for people grieve differently.
Yeah.
Not everyone will grieve the same as you, or you won't grieve the same as another person. People grieve differently, and people grieving period ya kila mtu ni different.
Totally different. Na hakuna manual, like I said. So,
there's no manual.
And even if you grieved at that point, they would have probably said something.
Yeah.
Ungewaonyesha kile wao wanataka kuona, they probably would have said something. They would have prayed that yuko strong, be strong now, and then when you're strong. So it becomes a whole complicated affair.
Me I've heard a lot of things. Yani hadi penye imefika saizi, whenever I hear anything, I'm just like, it's okay.
Social media ilikuwaje? Because your lives were out there. I mean, you were on Decoded. That means you were living your life. Tunaona, you allowed us into your lives. And now you're grieving and you want to be alone during this process. And you're doing it your way. How did you handle social media na venye watu wanaongea na wanasema vitu and comments about how you're living your life?
So actually, my YouTube picked up when Dante passed, because on April when he passed, we were at 1,700 subscribers, but at the moment we are at 35k, and so channel ili pick after two when he passed. So everyone got, so it's like suddenly everyone got to know about Koko and Dante. Like people started supporting us when Dante was gone. You see, it's like support came in after when Asha passed. So me think your team okay kitu imekuwa ikinipush actually ever since then ni kufanya tu YouTube. It kept like at least inani keep busy. I don't get that much time ya kufikiria. So ndo I think ndo imekuwa ikinipush, and above all God has always been there for me.
That's true. When it comes to content saizi, ni content what kind of content are you pushing? Is it encouragement? Because before mlikuwa mnafanya tu vitu zenyu, tunaona life yenyu venye iko. But what about now? Where is the inspiration coming from in terms of what to push out?
At the moment, I'm just vlogging about generally my life. I try to inspire people out there, so that I try to create content such that people out there will get inspired by my life. People out there will watch my story, and understand how life is. Junapata watu huko nje. Okay, my status at the moment inakuanga tomorrow ain't promised actually.
That is true.
So watu huko nje, mi try kuambia watu huko nje, at least try to appreciate the people you have. Try to spend time with the people you have. And don't usiekange ile hata kama mko na beef na msee kwa nyumba.
Usieke.
Just forgive one another and move on, because you never know tomorrow.
Ni kweli. Na kama unawapenda heri uambie, usiwache wajijazie.
You never know if you'll get that chance tomorrow to tell them.
Yeah.
Because I still remember when I was with Dante, I used before atoke kwa nyumba, every time I used to tell him, tell me bye. Like even time to go na shida, I would rather just hug me, tell me you love me, tell me everything, then you leave, so that maybe in case something happens out of there. Because me used to tell myself that I'd rather let you go outside there, go hustle in peace. Like hatuna ile beef. Ndo at least yani usikuwe na ile grudge huko nje. Me, I used to prefer to sameheane mapema.
I think it was a good way to live. Sababu tunabebanga grudge na kufanya unazeeka, unainama hivi kila saa.
Unapata mtu mmekasirikiana ati mwilizishana kwa nyumba anaenda kama amejam. Kitu kihappen huko nje, imagine maybe something, God forbid, an accident happens out there. And anaenda na hiyo guilt, like hiyo grudge. Unaona mtu anapaska kwa na hiyo.
Amekweka na then unabaki na guilt pia.
You tabaki na hiyo guilt.
Koko, do you mind I hope si intrusive, but nimerealize ujavaa ring yenyu ya wedding. What
yeah, okay, actually I removed it.
Okay.
It's here. I decided nikikanga kwa mkono na feeling like it's like inanikumbushanga sana. So I was like, for me to, I think, to try to move on with my life, instead of putting it here, I'd rather chain it. So I bought a chain and then nikaiweka. So I always keep it next to my heart.
I think that is genius. I noticed it wasn't there, but I wasn't so sure if you're comfortable talking about it or what that is. Is there a group or a team, a support group of some sort, yenye you are able to confide, to call when you're feeling low, when you need to talk?
At the moment, no. Okay, I've been asked to go for therapy. Mi nimeambiwa na wasee wengine in the therapy. But then I'm like, at the moment, I can't manage. Because therapy pia ni pesa. So I'm trying to stabilize myself first. Then I think nikishakuwa stable, I can.
Then you can be able. So you'd like to go. You'd like to go for therapy, but the problem at the moment is how to finance the process.
Yeah.
How about if we told you there's a way to go about that without having to pay? Would you be willing to go?
Yeah.
Great. Because Red Cross, I think, is highly involved in that. And because Red Cross is where we are at, how about we find a way for you to be able to go and get that?
I'd appreciate.
Okay, great. Hustle iko vipi saizi? Just YouTube ama unajaribu vitu zingine huku kando?
Okay, I've tried. Okay, at the moment I'm trying in YouTube na trying to market for people stuff. Because yeah, hapo ndo napatanga nini. Okay, napatanga income yangu through marketing.
Through marketing. Ile ukiwa postia, ukiwa marketia, then you're able to.
Instagram, YouTube, I post for you anything, I market for you anything. Hapo ndo napata. But inakuanga na season juu pia. Watu wananga pesa
all the time, yeah. So ni biashara tu kama ile ingine.
Yeah, so unapata, okay, saizi YouTube yangu inaenda chini kiasi cause, okay, nimekuwa na issues lately ya kusettle down. So, nimekuwa nikiambiwa YouTube yangu ina drop, but then I'm like, I'll pick it up. Let me just, first of all, like, make myself stable, then
YouTube inaitwa nini ndio kama tuko tuned in saizi. I think we just get on there because that's where your bread and butter is coming from right now.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube at Koko and Dante. On Instagram is Koko Miti, but on YouTube it's Koko and Dante.
Koko and Dante, D-A-N-T-E-E.
Yeah, Koko with K-O-K-O and Dante, D-A-N-T-E.
And social media and the Instagram?
On Instagram you can find me at Koko_Miti and Koko _and Dante.
There's two accounts. Okay. Did you continue with his account?
His account. Okay, I never had his password for his main account.
Yes.
But I used to handle all social medias apart from his personal account.
So you had the one that you two are together on
Koko
Instagram?
And Dante.
Yes. And yours?
And my Koko Miti. And yeah, hizo zingine ndo nilikuwa na password zote.
How is the relationship now with your in-laws?
It's okay. Yeah, tunapambana tu. Even though we don't, nowadays we don't talk that much because I think everyone moved on with his or her life.
And pia wana grief.
Kila mtu akona, okay, so easy. We are all trying to pick ourselves up. So it's like kila mtu ana struggle tu penye yako ndo to move on in life.
Okay. We have a bit of feedback for you. Where are we? Life happens. Sees through your journey, I pray that you may find more purpose and love. Hi Mwikali, napitia the same thing na ni hard kufogeta. Kipole sana. You don't leave us your name, but thank you so much for just sending in that message. Good morning. Thank you, Mix, for giving the lady a healing platform and for free. It is well with her. That is Anne from Ruaka. What would be your parting shot as we come to the end of this conversation? What would you like the world to know or hear directly from you today, Koko?
Life is a journey, and tomorrow is not promised. That's above all. Tomorrow is not promised. So, in case you want to do anything now, don't worry about tomorrow. Just think about today. You want to try something out, give it a try today. You want to speak to someone today. Do it now. Do everything now. Don't wait for tomorrow because you never know if tomorrow will ever come.
That is so true and profound.
And above God, pray to God because anasaidianga sana.
Really.
Yeah.
I just want to commend you. I think you coming here today and sharing your story to encourage, to empower, to show us that you can come out of it, and it doesn't mean that you have to stop the pain, that you can do everything that you can with the pain, with the grief. I think that's very powerful. You are pretty strong. And don't be strong for anybody else. For yourself. Sisi tutapambana na hali zetu. You do you. You do you and let nobody judge you or for whatever. You live your life. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Koko and Dante on YouTube. Koko_Mite on Instagram. Koko and Dante on Instagram as well. Go right there, show her love, send your messages. I can see your messages, but zipelekeni hapo pia. Give her love, give her support in her businesses as well. Market your businesses kwa page yake. Tusaidie Koko to just pick herself up and, keep hustling, as she keeps saying. We're going to take a very short commercial break. When we come back, we have Fitness Circle.